Alright, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Distract Watch Party. My name is Nick. If this is your first time on the channel, thanks for joining. If you guys are watching on YouTube or Twitch on the replay, thanks for joining as well. If you guys want to skip the pre-show, you can go ahead and skip about 10 minutes ahead and then sync up with us to watch the commentary then. I see we got a couple people in chat already. We got Phyllis and Candy is in there. We got Kathleen in there. So hey, everybody. We had a theme this week of undercover. So I did undercover movies. I think we had Catch Me If You Can. I always forget the nominees every time I bring this up. We had Catch Me If You Can, and then we had where's some of the other ones it came down to? I'm trying to think. Let's see. Point Break, which I hadn't seen before. So we had Point Break on there. We had Mrs. Doubtfire on Disney Plus. We had The Usual Suspects on Amazon Prime, and we had V for Vendetta on HBO Max. It looks like Catch Me If You Can won for that, so that's what we're gonna be watching today. I do want to get some information pulled up on the movie here, so we know kind of what we're watching. Catch Me If You Can came out in 2002. It was directed by the great Steven Spielberg. Stars has a crazy stacked cast, but it stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Christopher Walken, and if you guys are following my Instagram, I did do trivia questions. He was the lone it's a lot of people didn't know this, but he was the lone guy to get nominated for the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his work in here. Tom Hanks and DiCaprio did not get nominated, which is strange. They both had really great. It's also got Martin Sheen in it. It's got Amy Adams in it. It's the stacked cast in this movie, but directed by Steven Spielberg. Let me get some trivia information pulled up. So the log line is barely 21 yet. Frank is a skilled forger who has passed as a doctor, lawyer, and pilot. FBI agent Carl becomes obsessed with tracking down the con man who only revels in the pursuit. It was nominated for 2 Oscars. Sorry. Let's see, trivia. So the real Frank Abagnale Jr. The French officer that arrests Frank on Christmas Eve. Oh wow, okay. So in the movie, when Frank Abagnale, when his time finally comes to be caught, I guess. The real Frank Abagnale Jr., the guy that the story's based on, which if you guys didn't know is based on a true story, he's the French officer that arrests Frank. So keep an eye out for that when we watch the movie, because the guy that's going to arrest him in that scene is actually going to be the real character he's portraying, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that. The FBI officer who was chasing Frank and was the main inspiration for Carl Hanratty, who is Tom Hanks' character in the movie, was really Joe Shea. Frank Abagnale Jr. used the pseudonym Sean O'Reilly in his book because Joe Shea was still in the FBI. He has since passed away. However, in an online video interview, Abagnale says that Hanks met Shea and patterned his performance on him so perfectly that watching Hanks is virtually the same as watching Shea. That's really cool too. So Frank Abagnale said that Tom Hanks was pretty indistinguishable from the actual FBI agent that he had a relationship with. Some FBI agents did occasionally chase Abagnale, but he didn't have a relationship with any of them, and he certainly didn't call them every Christmas. As Abagnale himself points out with flawless logic, why would I do that? I didn't want the FBI to know where I was. That makes 100% sense. Until he saw the results of Leonardo DiCaprio's work, the real Frank Abagnale Jr. didn't think DiCaprio was suave enough to play him. And this is weird. It sounds silly now, but I think at the time, like 2002, I'm trying to think of what films Leo had under his belt. But this might have been like a kind of turning point in his career where he was really able to play. I mean, obviously this was a couple years after Titanic. Probably about 5 years after Titanic, but that he was able to play these kind of these kind of roles, I guess. But yeah, it's weird now thinking about it, but at the time it probably wasn't. I don't know. Like I guess I can see where Frank Abagnale may have had reservations or something. You know, he still felt like a kid, but so perfectly cast for this, right? I doubt any like teenage, you know, person portraying a teenage kid could portray it as like convincingly and confidently when he's trying to do all these cons as Leo DiCaprio is. It's really hard to see another person in that role now. The newly filmed clip from To Tell the Truth that opens the movie was based on an actual episode in which Frank was a guest. In that episode, not a single panelist correctly guessed that he was the real Frank Abagnale Jr. This episode of To Tell the Truth can be viewed on YouTube. Oh, okay, so I guess To Tell the Truth is like a game show. It's been a long time since I have seen this movie before, but it's been a really long time since I have, which is why I'm kind of hyped to revisit it. But I guess there's like maybe a fake game show in the beginning, and that game show is actually a real one, and Frank Abagnale actually participated, and it's available on YouTube. If you guys like the movie, it seems like there's a lot of stuff that you can dive into after about the real story. So yeah, definitely check that out. The blackboard that Carl Hanratty is writing on, so Tom Hanks' character, at the end of the movie contains a small note at the bottom that says Steven and Tom's fourth project. Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks had previously collaborated on Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan, and Joe versus the Volcano. I was going to bring that up too. Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks have obviously had a storied career together. This was, I guess, their fourth collaboration at the time. I think they've done more since, because obviously he was in Bridge of Spies. I don't know. I don't think Charlie Wilson's War was Spielberg. I'm not 100%, but I definitely know they did Bridge of Spies after this, so I think they've done a good amount of this stuff. This also seems like I know he had done Saving Private Ryan at the time, and also Schindler's List and stuff, but this seems kind of like a turn for Spielberg, where he started making more like historical nonfiction stuff, kind of more blue collary kind of stuff, you know. Like I feel like after this he started really doing like stuff that he's doing nowadays, which is like The Post and Bridge of Spies and Munich and these kind of almost like white collar crime, you know, The Terminal, I don't know, those kind of things. He seemed to have gotten away from like the really fantastical stuff. Yeah, I didn't. Kathleen says I didn't know Joe versus the Volcano was Spielberg. I don't think it is. I really don't think that's one of his movies. I think he produced it probably. Like it might have been an Amblin Entertainment thing, and that's what they're talking about, because it's definitely Joe versus the Volcano. There's no way that's a Spielberg movie. I can double check, but I'm 100% sure. Yeah, John Patrick Shanley was the director of Joe versus the Volcano, but I'm assuming Amblin Entertainment probably produced it, and that's what he means by they've collaborated and worked together at the time. But the Terminal was Spielberg too, so that's another Tom Hanks film, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's The Terminal's on there. All road and concrete surfaces are wet in every shot, even though all scenes take place in sunny weather. Many cinematographers simply prefer the look of wet roads. So I guess we'll kind of keep an eye out for that too in the movie, but apparently all of the outdoor sequences have kind of wet ground, which I know cinematographers love, just because of the reflections. It adds dimension to a lot of the shots and stuff. So a lot of people, like if you guys are making films and stuff, you can just throw some water on the ground and it's going to make your shot look a lot better depending on the lighting, because you get all these really cool reflections and stuff off of it, which is awesome. So real quick before we start, we have about a minute and a half left. If you guys are new here and you want to watch along with us, which I would advise because it's going to be a fun watch along, you can go ahead and pull the movie up. You can watch it. It's available on Netflix. You can also pull it up however is most convenient for you. So if you have it on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever, you can pop it in. You're gonna let it play for about 10 seconds and stop it at the frame that I have shown here. So it should be about 10 seconds into the movie, and just pause. And then once this countdown timer goes to 10, you'll see a cool 10-second countdown animation, and then it's going to tell you to press play. At that point, you should be all synced up with us and ready to go. And then as we watch the movie, just make sure to engage in chat. Let us know what you're thinking about the movie so far. If you notice anything, it's like it's cool. It's just watching it as a community and stuff too. So again, if you guys want to jump into the movie, you can do so by pulling it up about now. But the timer, once it hits 10, is going to trigger that animation. So we should be able to sync up together. Let's see. The story of Frank Abagnale Jr.'s exploits had one of the longest and most difficult journeys from its first pitch to its eventual production. In 1981, it was originally announced that his story would be filmed and that Frank would be played by Dustin Hoffman. So this is a long time coming. Let's see.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, cool. We should be all synced up here. If you guys for some reason didn't get synced up, or if you are already, if you're getting your stuff pulled up and can't sync up with us, I do have the duration timer beneath me here. So you guys can fast forward to about like say 45 seconds in the movie, pause it, and then once the timer hits 45, just play, and then you should be all synced up with us here. But cool. I'm kind of excited about this one. Let me know also, guys, in the chat if this is a first time watch for you guys, or if you guys have seen this movie before as well. I think MN, who's usually in the chat as well, he said he hadn't seen this before, so I told him, I was like, you may not want to watch it with us on stream, maybe just hang out and let us know what you thought after, because this is also kind of one of those plot heavy movies where it seems like you would need to kind of pay attention to a lot of the minutia and the dialogue details and stuff. So Kathleen looks like has seen it before. Cool. I usually try to structure these watch parties around people that have, maybe a pretty well-known movie that's been seen a lot before, just because I know it's probably a more fun experience if you've seen the movie and you can kind of turn your brain off to the details, and it's kind of like you don't watch a movie for the first time with the commentary track on, so why would you do it for this? But looks like Tanuvial 2008 is a first time watch for her, so cool. Phyllis has said she's seen it 3 times. Wow, okay. So you may know, you may be able to follow more of the plot here than I would. Candy, I saw it in theaters, but I can't say I've seen it again since. Yeah, Sam, I think I've seen it one time before. It obviously stuck with me. By the way, music by John Williams. That usually is a very good sign of a great movie. So John Williams is attached to it. Yeah, I think I've seen it the one time, and then I hadn't seen it since. But I remember loving it too. That's Janusz Kaminski is also Spielberg's kind of common collaborator he does for his cinematography. They have a really great working relationship. Phyllis says, who does James Brolin play? I'm not sure. I know Josh Brolin. That's his dad, I believe, is James Brolin, right? Let me see if it shows what his what his character is in this. So he plays a character called Jack Barnes. So I'm sure you'll notice him when you see him, but okay, so this must be the game show that they're referring to. So apparently, guys, if you want to look this up after, this is an actual clip of To Tell the Truth with Frank Abagnale Jr. on it. So it's apparently available on YouTube. Phyllis says, yes, Barb's husband. Okay, so that must be who he plays. This is such an interesting way to give the exposition on kind of how crazy the story is. It's almost like an overview of the story before we watch the movie, but it's a really interesting way to divulge that information, by using the fake TV show thing. It looks super 70s too, even the way he's got the film kind of punched in with the aspect ratio and stuff. There we go. There's the introduction. Carl Hanratty. Candy says this was a real game show. That's cool. I wonder, do you know do you guys know if that was the Spielberg or the Robert Zemeckis method where they showed actual clips of the show and then kind of superimpose DiCaprio into it, or do you think that they actually shot that production separately? I'd be interested to know that, because you know how like in Forrest Gump where they just kind of add Forrest Gump into like existing footage. I'm not sure if they did that or if maybe they like Spielberg completely shot it with actors and then just kind of made it look as true to the original as possible. Kathleen says looks like it was the actual show. Yeah, it did. I mean, it looked really good. It'd be impressive though, because I would think that too. It'd be impressive if we found out that he actually just did that and kind of recreated that. Oh, so Candy said not sure, but it would be cool if they did it. Kathleen said the woman was the actual person on the show, I'm assuming. Okay, yeah, so if that's the actual host, then yeah, they must have used those shots. Maybe they just shot and matched DiCaprio's parts to it. He doesn't look too good there. Oh god, Tom Hanks' Boston accent, man. It's not bad. It's just like it's so weird hearing him say that. He got up and ran. Ah, Frank. What is wrong with him? Damn. He looks like shit. Leonardo DiCaprio looks like shit. I said it. I didn't know that Chris Walken was nominated for this movie. Um, I don't remember his role too much in the first time I saw it. I know he plays DiCaprio's father, but um, that's I mean to be this lone person that got cast. Oh, that the guy talking on the podium, Phyllis. That's James Brolin. Yeah, that kind of looks like the guy I was looking at. Plays Paula. Natalie Bay. I'm not too sure. She plays the mom. She plays Paula. That sounds a lot like Leo just now, running out of the prison and stuff. He's just going to do whatever he can to succeed no matter what. Sets up his character really well with that anecdote or whatever that he gave. That kind of fake it till you make it mentality, you know? Uh-oh, is this a Christmas movie? We talked about that when we did the Hook watch party, that the Hook, we were debating whether or not it was a Christmas movie, which it obviously was. I was wrong. But there's movies where there's Christmas scenes in it, but it's not a Christmas movie. And then there's movies that are Christmas movies that have minimal Christmas scenes in it. It's really, I guess it comes down to like the themes of the movie as to what is considered a Christmas movie and what is not, you know? Wine on the rug. I wonder how old is. Can anyone look up how old DiCaprio was when this movie was shot? What is he born? He was born in. I'm assuming he was shot probably a year, but he was born in 1974. So yeah, he would have been like 28, maybe. Ah, shit, I suck at math. This came on. Let's say it was shot in 2001. So 2004 would be 30 years. So yeah, he would be like 27. So he's playing about 10 years younger than he actually is. 28. Okay. And he's supposed to be like 17 in this section, I think. The apple didn't fall too far from the tree. Chris Walken, grade A bullshitter here. Dang, look at all those period specific cars and shit. You'll notice a lot of movies do this really early on in the movie to kind of like put your mind at ease as to the production value. They'll have this shot, right, where they show like a busy city street. It's obviously a nightmare to shoot, whether you're doing it like practically or you're doing it with effects and stuff. It's a very effects heavy shot, or very hard to choreograph and get all those things together to make it look period specific. But a lot of times they do those early, like around this time in the movie, as a way to just go, wow, okay, like I do feel like I'm in that time, and then you kind of like turn your brain off to, you stop looking for like mistakes, I guess. It's almost just like a way to like gain trust with the audience. New Rochelle Rotary Club. I don't even know what that is. What were Rotary clubs? I could watch Walk and Talk all day, says Candy. Yeah, no, I agree. He's got the best voice. Does he while we're talking about it, do you guys know if he's done animated movies? Like I feel like he would have been approached a billion times to do some kind of animated character. I just can't remember if he's ever done one before, which is crazy because I don't know. I feel like he would have been like a name Pixar would have hit up really early on to play some kind of character. Maybe there's an obvious one that's escaping me, but I'm not sure if you guys know. Kathleen says they paid $79 for that card. Is that for real? Like it was listed on the that's what the selling price was in the movie? Oh man, that would be insane. I guess yeah, I guess that would it seems crazy that you could buy a car for $79, but that was on the windshield. Yeah, that's nuts. Less than $80. That's how inflation works, I guess. I love how like messy the kitchen is and shit too. He did voiceover work for Ants. Oh, well, that makes sense because I don't even think I've seen that movie. Isn't that the one that came out like right around the same time as A Bug's Life, and everyone was like, this movie sucks because not they didn't say it sucks, but it's like two extremely similar movies. One was obviously better than the other, you know. Maybe that's why he stopped doing it. Like he came out with Ants and A Bug's Life, slaughtered them that year, and then he was like, "No, I'm not going to do that again." It's gonna make him believe he's a sub. Candy says looks like that's the only animated credit he has. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I think even like I don't know, like all of those characters with those actors with those really distinct voices are usually big names that they hit up for animated movies and stuff. He's gonna make it read in front of me. What an alpha move, man. Today, Junior. It's not even funny, man. That's so messed up. I think it's Spielberg's like establishing that DiCaprio's doing these cons and he's not taking into account how they affect other people. I think that was like the first instance of that. But like, yeah, if you're from that woman's perspective, it's like you get called in to do a job as a sub and you're an elderly woman. And it's like you got to come there like drive across town to go there and yeah, and then he's teaching the class and she has to go home. Like I don't know, it's like a small like taste of like DiCaprio isn't taking into account people that he hurts when he does these things. He's like a Sherlock. I would be a little proud. Like my kid successfully impersonated a substitute teacher for like a whole class. I'd be a little impressed. Oh, there's Josh Brolin again. A tour of the apartment. Mm-hmm. James Brolin. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna call him Josh probably a billion times. I love the lighting in this shot too, with the lighting blowing like coming in from that window in the back. It's really cool lighting. The production design on his movies are always like top tier, man. Like the little detailed stuff, like the little stuff that they're able to get just rings so authentic in like all of his movies. Um, the spaces have character, they feel lived in, they don't feel staged. Like It's always very like even with the blanket and stuff on the back of the chair and everything, it always feels yeah, like Katie said, the haze from the cigarette smoke. It's I mean it makes the lighting look great with the haze in there, but it also fits that period and it's they put so much thought into little details of the space that they're in. Trying to buy them off now. It's gross. Don't tell your dad I was screwing someone else. Here, take this $5, which is like 150 at that time or whatever. You take that $5 there, Leo, and go buy a car. Yeah, Katie said it's so messed up to put this on your kid. I agree. Uh oh, Candy empathizes with this a little too much. That sucks. So they're getting a divorce. And they're asking him to choose, I guess, to like what house he wants to live in. Okay, I should have just waited. That's pretty much what she says. That's crazy. That'd be so messed up. Like, look so scared. I know, it's pretty messed up. That's gonna be the infamous line throughout the whole movie. Is it okay if I write you a check? That's a cool shot outside of those apartments. Reminds me of that Hitchcock movie. Um, Crap, Rear Window. Rear Window. Yeah, he's about to make this woman lose her job. I wonder how many people lost their jobs because of Frank Abagnale. Uh, I always watch this and I'm like, why didn't he just go into sales? He would have been like an amazing salesman. So, I mean, I guess they're not going to hire someone that's like 16 or 17 years old. And so I guess he kind of was forced to do this kind of stuff. You know, they don't make, I feel like they don't make con men movies that much anymore. You know? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I haven't seen a lot of like modern con movies, you know? I guess like hackers would like kind of take over um that kind of subgenre, I guess, is like hacker movies, but it's not a lot of con stuff. I think there was like a Will Smith movie recently, not recently, but like maybe I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, with Margot Robbie in it, and that was about being a con person. God, he looks so stereotypical with his old ass camera and his little school uniform. I'm called by uniform. So many extras, man. That's that uniform cost more than that car did. $164. Damn. You could have bought two of them cars for that amount. I like that aerial shot too. It's a really hard, it seems like a really hard shot to get. You have to keep right above his head, and then I guess it's a crane shot. I bet she's older now, and she's like, "Yeah, I was in a scene. I was in a scene with Leo DiCaprio. Yeah, no big deal. NBD. Yeah, there weren't really drones in 2002. There's no way. Kathleen says it was a drone shot, or she thinks it might have been a drone shot. I think they got a techno crane, and then they had to just match his walking, like his walking pace, and then slowly push in from there. Oh, I meant there were no drones in. Yeah, yeah. It wouldn't have been a drone shot. I mean, I'm sure there were drones, but not like consumer consumer available ones or ones that were used in movies. I like this montage. Just so smart. He buys a bunch of these little toy airplanes and pulls the little clear logo off of it. So many airplanes. It's a lot of money. I think he earned it. Forging's super hard, so it'd be funny if that's how it worked. If like you're good enough to if you're good enough to fool them, like you get to keep it anyway. Oh, Candy said, "Did you see how he kept typing over the same thing to help the typewriters mimic the payroll printers?" Oh, that's cool. So to make it more um, saturated and like and dense, he just probably typed over and over again to kind of give it that hard thing. Yeah. I think that was her one role. She's the girl from Grey's Anatomy, I think. Um, I think that was her one line in the movie. He studied all the jargon and shit. Milk. I feel like I'm watching The Aviator. I think that was Scorsese though. So the thing that escapes me is like I'm guessing they didn't so they didn't have things like background checks back then, I guess. Because he's using his actual name, right? He's going as like Frank Abagnale. Oh, okay. I guess she did have a bigger role in this. Kathleen says it's cool how he can be believable as a teenager and as an adult. Yeah, no, I mean, that's why I think he was uniquely qualified to really got to play the role, is because you had to play both. You had to be convincing as a kid, like when he's doing his little high school book report thing, and then you also have to be convincing as like a doctor or whatever that he's going to get into later. So, yeah, it must have been difficult to cast to find somebody that could really pull those off emotionally. Like, that's crazy. That's Elizabeth Banks. I didn't notice she was even in this. Obviously, when I first watched this, I don't think she had really done anything prominent at all. And then watching it after the fact, I think when I was cutting the promo for this, I was like, "Oh shit, Elizabeth Banks is in this too." FBI headquarters. Dude, Candy brought this up earlier too. But notice how all these scenes are just drenched in cigarette smoke. Like they had to haze the shit out of these all of these places. I mean, look at the projector. It's just like it's so believable. The thing is, they'll do this in modern movies just to kind of give a visual flair. They'll smoke up a scene and fog up a scene to kind of give it volume and depth and stuff. But it actually fits in this time period because everyone and their mother was smoking cigarettes inside. So, but yeah, you'll notice a lot of the indoor sequences in this movie are just gonna be have like a dense haze throughout the entire thing. Isn't wait, so he's supposed to be like 17 in this, right? So I'm sure that yeah, his dad's like, this is bullshit. My story. Yeah, because I'd be questioning. I'd be like, my son's 17-year-old son says he's a Pan Am pilot, and like, there's no way that Pan Am would hire a 17-year-old to fly a plane. You'd think there'd be like some red flags or alarms going off, of like, he's full of shit. Maybe he knows that. Maybe he knows he's full of shit. That was a great scene. That must have been the scene that got him the Oscar. I would think. I don't know. Maybe there's something else later, but that was definitely pretty impressive. What? You know what movie would be really cool to? I don't know if it's just his glasses or whatever, but this reminds me of that movie, That Thing You Do, that movie about like the kind of Beatles esque um, band that he manages, and I think it's one of Tom Hanks's first directed movies. I always like that movie too. I think that'd be a fun one to do for a watch party one week. Yeah, Katie said that's a great flick. Yeah, no, it's I don't know. Maybe it's just his aesthetic in this, but it reminded me of that movie. Good one. Knock knock. Go fuck yourselves. Yeah, very deep cut knock knock joke there. Look at the production design on this, man. He does pieces so well. The amount of detail that goes in like the little stuff, like even her hotel cart was period specific. It's like it's insane. Barry Allen, is that what he said? He's the Flash. You couldn't come up with a better name there, Leo. My name's Barry Allen. That's crazy. If that guy, if they showed that guy the car, he'd be like, what the fuck is he talking about?" This only works if you like if you're one of those kids in school that was like 16 and looked like you were 37, you know? But it's believable because we all have that kid in our class, right? All of you guys had that kid in your 8th grade class that looked like one of the parents or some shit and you're like, "What the you're like, you know, like we all know one of those people." So but this he only can pull this off if you're one of those people that's 16 and like can grow a beard or like I don't know. We all had those in our class. So it does exist. If Carl had opened the wallet, this all would have been over, right? I guess it's just because he so confidently gave it to him. Um, for sure, our guy was Brian with a Y. Yeah, yeah. Every class had one. We all have a story of like at some point between in high school or whatever, there was somebody that was just like, "Oh shit, okay, this guy looks like he would go to a parent teacher conference." Um, and he's barely fitting into the desk next to me because he's 6'3" or some shit. But if Tom Hanks, yeah, Tom Hanks opens that wallet, then I don't know how. Yeah, like I guess he would have. Leonardo DiCaprio was just hoping that he wasn't going to open it. I guess he gambled. It paid off. Real quick, to anybody watching the stream, if you could hop down and just do a like on the video, it'll help it's definitely going to help the algorithm as far as people being able to see it and stuff. So if you can take a second and just like the video, it'd be much appreciated. Yeah, there's Angry Hanks again. Yeah. Knock knock. Angry Hanks is the best. Tom Hanks mad is great. Yeah. That's what we talked about in Turner and Hooch. The James Bond of the sky. Kevin says, "Damn, none of those airlines exist." I think what they say, United. Some of them are still there. I think. He gets to cosplay as James Bond. I love that shot. This was man, they did that in a lot of old movies where they pretty much told story using feet and where their feet were turned and stuff. Here's Jennifer Garner too. Wait, but isn't Pan American World Airways or whatever? Isn't that a real airline? That was a real airline, right? Not crazy. And I thought they said United too. He flies United stuff. I don't know. Maybe I misheard it. Yeah. So Kathleen says it was, but it went bust. Yeah. So, but I distinctly remember there being Pan American and stuff. But yeah, I guess they floundered and kind of went bankrupt and stuff. 55 cents for some cards. Yeah, me too, Candy. Like I forgot she was in this too. Um, since we started doing the watch party, that's kind of a theme. Is like I'll have watched a movie first, like in 2002, and then the people in it have gone on to do new things, and then I'll rewatch it and be like, oh shit, that's that person. I think at the time I wasn't too familiar with Jennifer Garner, and that is Jennifer Garner, right? I'm not crazy. Um, but yeah, I know I've noticed that happen a lot. If I rewatch something that I only saw once when I was, when I was younger in the 90s or early 2000s, I'll watch it now and they'll have kind of made more of a career out of themselves. $1,000. I'm just trying to extrapolate because he said that stack of cards costs 55 cents. So he's gonna get laid and $400. Seems like he comes out on top of that deal. Oh no, all his clothes. Oh no, that sucks. I don't know. Tom Hanks could rock pink. Like, just let him do it. Let him go to work with his pink shirts. Yeah, Candy, that's a pro tip. Ever in a public dry cleaning, always check the machine. I don't think you knew. I think if you knew, you would have known. That's what I'm saying. How did he know that he wasn't going to look at the wallet? So he said the Yankees win because of the pinstripes. So he's saying that it's like a distraction, misdirection, which is kind of how he gets away with stuff. You'll see whenever he hands people checks, he'll like flirt with them or whatever, to kind of misdirect them and keep their attention away. It also is cool that he uses that tactic, and then he bought the cards and he said, you want to see a card trick, because the entire thing about magic, like up close magic, is misdirection, keeping people's attention away from where it needs to be. So it's almost like he was a student of that, even kind of going through this and buying the cards and all that kind of stuff. He's just now realizing. Oh, hey, Shewind is in. Hey, welcome in, Shewind. We're watching Catch Me If You Can on Netflix here, if you want to jump in. Shewind does she does like animated retrospectives of different movies and stuff. She's got a really cool channel if you guys want to check that out too. So I guess this is where Tom Hanks figures out that he's a kid. Oh, she got married to James Brolin, I guess, his character. At least it wasn't just like a meaningless affair. They ended up getting married after, but she wants us. Thank you for the kind words. Love your channel. Happy you found it. Your humor is very close to ours. I wish I could stay longer and watch you with you all, but I put the baby to bed. I wanted to say hi. Oh, thanks a lot, Shiwan. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. Maybe you can tune in one of the Mondays with us and watch a movie or something like that. But yeah, no, I appreciate the kind words. The cigarettes, man. There's so many cigarettes in this movie. She went says definitely add it to my schedule. Awesome. Yeah, and she went too real quick. If you do want to join and help us vote on what movie we do watch, so if you want to, if you have an idea for a movie that you think would be cool for us to watch, you can join the Discord in my my description below. And we put up nominees every Wednesday. So Wednesdays we put out 5 nominees, and you can vote on it, and then we get to pick whatever movie wins is the movie that we watch the following Monday. So if you do want to have a say in that too, you can join the Discord. But I definitely look forward to you hanging out and watching a movie with us one week, though. I like his shirt. I think his shirt's kind of sick. I don't know. You know what's funny is he looks like he's wearing the same outfit. You guys remember in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where he's doing the commercial, like the commercial, and he's doing the twist or whatever. It looks like he's wearing pretty much a similar outfit. I know her from something too. Hey, screw that guy, man. You can't yell at Amy Adams, you horrible person. She's really great in this too. I never would have I this is another person that I didn't recognize when I first saw it. Um but now that I've seen like Amy Adams in a billion things, like I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, she was in this too." She's so great. Yeah, Katie said see who that is. Yeah. She's a she's amazing. And her braces too. This one, I don't know how much she did before this, but I don't remember. I think she was in like a Cruel Intentions movie, and she was in Drop Dead Gorgeous. I don't know if that stuff was before this movie came out or not, but this might have been one of her earlier films. Bullshit. It's so crazy. Like, why would you pick a profession like that where like you could really, really screw people up? You know? I don't know. I feel like I'd pick something that's like a banker or like a stockbroker or like something where like I don't know, you can't kill people. Emergency room supervisor. Like, why would you say yes to that? That's so that's so crazy. He's learning how to be a doctor from watching TV shows. I concur. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up after and maybe drop it in the Discord. I wonder how accurate this movie is because I know this is based on a true story, but I don't know if they embellished. They obviously, I think every time they do a movie, they somewhat embellish. But this is insane that like someone was able to get away with this for as long as they did. His hair. This is crazy. It's like a fraud doctor. Oh no. Do you concur? You can see his lip quivering and shit. Like he's obviously getting affected. Yeah. Well, I did not concur. Yeah, you should probably pick another job, buddy. If you're going to be an emergency room supervisor, you should probably be able to look at some a little bit of gore. You know, might have been a little short sighted. That fits his character so well. He doesn't care. He's like, if I'm gonna get arrested, I just make sure I can put it on another suit on. All he's cared about is his image. Yeah, Candy, he is covering for him. Um, you'd think that Carl would kind of be tipped off about that. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're not gonna rat their kid out. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? 515. It's it's a pretty good Boston accent, on to be honest. Damn, that sucks. It's like it's weird. This whole thing is weird because he's playing an older person, but he's actually younger, and then she's probably, I don't know what do you guys think she is? I think she's probably going for like 15 in this, right? So it's like it's weird because I think he's like what 17 or 18 in this, and she's probably 15, 16. But he's playing someone older, so it's kind of weird. The idea of it's weird, but it's actually not because he's within about a couple years of her anyway. Is this the house where they had the pool party and stuff? Frank Connors. Uh oh. Fake it till you make it, Leo. This should be interesting. Tell them my story. Mousy churn that cream in the butter. There's Martin Sheen. I was wondering when he was going to show up. Uh oh. I'd be like, is he lying? Shit. So I'm just thinking about like the case. So Frank Connors leaves. So they're going to say, okay, Frank Connors leaves. And they're going to say the same day he left, this nurse left. And then they get the nurse. And then they're going to question her family. So I feel like that's probably how they're going to catch up to him, right? Because that seems pretty easy from a cop perspective. If two people disappear the same day, you would assume they're together, and then you'd question their family. He took that figuratively. The other question. Oh, I love that shot. Look, guys, Spielberg movies. If you guys are ever watching a Spielberg movie, I don't know if there's like a I may do like a compilation video or something of this because I don't know that it's like it's true in every one of his movies, but there's always a reflection shot. There's always like a specific reflection shot. I'm just thinking of like in like the vast majority of his movies, he has this really interesting reflective surface shot in his stuff. And like a lot of the specific examples elude me now. I can think specifically of like in War of the Worlds when he throws the peanut butter sandwich on the window and you see like the reflection with the peanut butter thing sliding down. But he constantly uses like really interesting reflective surfaces in his shot. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's another one. But I noticed this in other movies he does too, where he'll get a reflection off of like a bell or something, or like all this crazy shit. Or in someone's glasses, or like I don't know, like puddles in the street or something. He always has one inch really interesting reflection shot. Just gonna bullshit being a lawyer. The balls, the amount of balls it takes to fake being a prosecutor and a check forger, and then prosecuting a check forger. The levels of confidence you have to have. Oh no, run away, run away. They're singing in TV shows and holding hands. Oh no. Yeah, get out of there. Funny because they've set up kind of a dichotomy between um, Chris Walken and Leo DiCaprio's character Frank Senior and Junior, where it's kind of analogous, like the way that they set up his character because he's running away. Like ever since the beginning of the movie, he's constantly been running away from the IRS, and then at Frank Abagnale's been running away from the FBI. But it's like they're foils for each other, which means like had Chris Walken's character made different decisions early on, he could be exactly where Junior is, and running away from the law and in prison. Like he had the capabilities to be a criminal, but he chose not to, and he's getting screwed over by the IRS for it. And then his son is kind of achieving all the stuff he wants, but doing it in an unseemly way. So they represent really cool, really different sides of a coin. But again, as I'm watching this, I'm just sitting here thinking like, why are they not just gotten into sales? Because they both would be amazing salespeople, and those jobs existed back then. So it's like Chris Walken's character would be like perfectly suited for like a salesman job. So he's trying to kind of live vicariously through his son, I guess, and he doesn't want to give that up. Like I don't know. See, like this, I don't know how accurate this is. That like um he called him every Christmas. I don't know if that's just a movie thing or if that actually happened. It's based on a book. If I really wanted to know, I could just read the book, but I don't know. I don't want to know that much. Books are like big investments, time investments. And he says, "Realize what song is playing?" No, I didn't. Is it "I'll Be Home for Christmas"? Is that what's playing? That's what it sounds like to me, right? And "I'll Be Home for Christmas." Yeah. So it's foreshadowing. Yeah. That's pretty smart. Makes a lot of sense. This is one of those too where you know, a lot of movies they the guy gets caught because of some like stupid mistake, which is in this one too. Like you're calling the FBI agent and thinking that that wasn't gonna, you know, work out negatively for you. There's always like a fatal flaw, but it begs the question of like, had they not done those things, would they have just gotten away with it? And I think this movie pretty much says like, oh well, I don't know, they probably would have caught up to him eventually, but he definitely helped them. Um, he definitely helped them by giving away all that information. Yeah, exactly, Candy. Hubris. It's the fatal flaw in a lot of this. It's definitely hubris to start with. I think now it's like this, like he wants to be caught subconsciously. He wants to kind of pay for the stuff he's done. So it's also just kind of like guilt. It's hubris and guilt. Year and a half. He's 17 and a half years old. Oh my god. That's the first thing she says. You're not a Lutheran? That's ridiculous. All the shit he said, and she's just concerned with the fact that he doesn't prescribe to the religious domination you do. Yeah, Candy, that's what you take away. He says all that shit, and you're like, you're not a Lutheran. It fits her character though. She's obviously naive and aloof, and probably young, so like you can't give her too much shit for it. But uh, yeah, that's that's pretty crazy. He's got two suitcases full of money, and he says all that shit. You're like, you're a Lutheran? You mean you're not a Lutheran? He really thinks she's gonna stand up to questioning? Come on. Case is compulsive label stealer. Like names? You mean like stealing names? See, there's another reflection shot. Really great shot too. No, he takes the labels. Candy says no. He takes the labels off of things like all the bottles at the hotel and the bottle of champagne. Oh, okay. Yeah, I noticed that at the very beginning when his dad was giving the speech, he did that. But I guess that's like a recurring theme for him. I guess if you're a forger, then you probably have like a fixation with print and all that kind of stuff. So that would make sense. He's like he almost collects labels, you know, to try to mimic, you know, fonts and all that kind of stuff. Brenda flipped on you, man. So he recruits flight attendants. Those police uniforms are accurate. Yeah, that's yeah, everything. You'll find everything in here. All of the costumes and the little accessories that all of these women in this entire fucking auditorium have are like so detailed and down to the very down to the detail as far as all that stuff. That's the thing about those Spielberg movies. He goes all out to make sure all the stuff is just like period precise. Like all the wardrobe in this scene with all these extras and stuff is all great. Oh, so you're qualified to be a stewardess because you can sing? Katie says, "Yeah, those are the uniforms the then Metro Dade Police Department wear. Miami Dade. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, you would know if you're from that area. The Miami Dade Police used to wear uniforms like that. That's insane. He uses them like just a distraction shield. Not him. Is it like a dummy wearing a hat? It's like some guy just gave me this hat. Carl Hanratty. Dang. That is that's messed up. Damn. Knock knock, man. Knock knock that guy. Oh, oh, is this the Spielberg Eureka moment? He's gonna change eyeline, the side. Oh, he did write it. Not Rashad. I want to go to France. I like this shot. I remember the scene from the first time I saw it with the church and then the French, like, French town, small French town. He's completely lost it. Candy says, "I'd like to go to France or anywhere in Europe just to see small towns." Like, yeah, same. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would rather go to like some random small town than like go to any of the big city centers. Um, I just think that would be more fulfilling, I guess. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would go to like I kind of want to go to Mount Rashad now. Like, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool. He still thinks he's lying. They're gonna kill you. Put the cuffs on, man. I thought 100% when I first saw this movie. I thought he was legit bullshitting though. I was like, he's making this up because, like he said, they say, and it's a great script moment too. Because earlier in the movie, when they called on Christmas, he said, "What am I going to do? Have 20 people come out on Christmas Eve?" And you know, so they set up that he's probably lying. Uh, and I thought for sure, I was like, yeah, he made it up. His own a cad. He surrendered up his own a cad. Dang, how did they shoot that? Oh shit, I forgot about this. You can't escape from an airplane bathroom. Dude, how the fuck do you get out of an airplane bathroom? So to climb in the toilet? That's like that's next level shit. See, this is a thing where I'm like, there's no way this happened. There's no way he escaped from an airplane bathroom with FBI agents right there, and then got out of a plane. Like I call bullshit on that. I don't know. Even if it's in the book, I'd have to see some kind of like some verified proof that that happened because there's no way. Dang, I don't know. Maybe this is a Christmas movie. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this could be considered a Christmas movie? I mean, they Christmas at the beginning. He talks to Frank every day on Christmas, and then there's this scene at the end with Christmas. They play Christmas music in it. I think it's 100% it. I think this is 100% a Christmas movie. Yeah, I think it's a hard sell too. It's like, come on, this only happens in a movie. I'd be I'd be flabbergasted if I was wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure they just added this in for this emotional connection. That girl's so chill. Like there's a random dude at your window. You need to train that girl to say stranger danger, you know? And then a whole bunch of cops pull up on your lawn and you don't even she's just kind of sitting there like, oh, I don't know. I love the lenses that they're using here too. It's with the where it's getting a lot of the bokeh from the lights and stuff in that shot. It's very man, it evokes uh those older movies, you know. Those lens flares and stuff in there. It's really cool. Yeah, no, Candy, I completely agree. Candy said even harder to believe what little kid wouldn't be screaming about the cops and lights outside. Yeah, I know that girl was just sitting there, just kind of uh, like a bunch of cops pull up and arrest some rando on the on your front lawn, and you don't even go, "Hey, mom," you know. Kathleen said, "And the windshield wipers don't work well." Yeah, that's probably very period specific. But they didn't use that. They didn't use those lenses in other shots of the movie. They just did it on that particular thing. And I don't know if it was supposed to evoke like a memory or something, but there's they had those lens flares and the snow and everything. It just it felt like one of those classic Christmas movies, you know. He's like, see that see I told you look. Hmm. Yeah, his smug face. I know. Dude, I wouldn't do that. He escaped from an airplane bathroom, and you're gonna let him out and then just babysit him? Like, that's a pretty sweet deal, though. I think the moral of this story, kids, if you kids are watching this, the moral of the story is if you're gonna commit a crime, commit it so well that it's not saying don't commit crimes. It's saying if you commit a crime, commit it so well that the feds give you a job after. Because I don't get the situation here. So he works a 9 to 5 for the FBI, and then what does he have? Does he get like a stipend? And he has like an apartment, or does he go back to jail at night, or whatever? It's really an inspirational story of like be such a good criminal that you don't have to serve a sentence for it. Why is he depressed? He would have just been in solitary confinement. So I don't know. I don't get why he's so like. I'd be ecstatic. Like I get out of jail, and all I have to do is go, like, find bad checks. And I get paid, and I get to go to the fucking grocery store and walk around and look at storefronts. Like, what is he whining about? Kathleen says he's got a type A personality. Yeah, that makes sense. I just looked up stuff about type A personality. It says may include operating at a more urgent pace, yes. Demonstrating higher levels of impatience, yes. Having a more competitive nature, obviously. Getting upset easily and associating self worth and achievement. Yep, no, that's 100% on the nose. He's very much a type A personality. No, man. Maybe you bluff. He called your bluff. Oh, he did show up. Studied for 2 weeks and passed. He pretty much made he made butter. He churned butter out of cream. That's the epitome of churning butter into cream. Study for the bar in 2 weeks and pass it. Greg Evans, he's been married for 26 years. He has 3 sons and lives a quiet life in the Midwest. Since his release from prison in '74, he's helped the FBI acquire some of the world's most elusive check forgers and counterfeiters and is considered one of the most foremost authorities on bank fraud and forgery. So, real quick, too, because at the end of the movie, Frank has also designed many of the secure checks that banks and Fortune 500 companies use every day. Solid. For his services, these companies pay Frank Abagnale Jr. millions of dollars a year. So he's like a millionaire now. Okay, cool. Frank and Carl remain close friends to this day. But I think the agent that is based on has since passed away, because that was one of the things we were reading. So one of the things we missed too that we talked about was let me go ahead and switch over here. Okay, cool. So one of the things that we missed was I didn't look at what the French police officer was that took him into custody, because that was the actual Frank Abagnale in there. But one of the things I had a question about was in the beginning of the movie, he's in some kind of like crazy prison and he's in like solitary confinement, coughing and puking and stuff. When was that? Because they didn't show that after. Was that like, did they just cut from him getting caught? I guess, is that when he got taken away in France? He went to some French prison and that's where he was then? And then because they showed that in the beginning of the movie, they just cut to him on the plane being extradited back to the States. I guess that might be it, but I don't know. That prison in France, I'm not sure when that was. I guess it was right after he got caught and got extradited back to the States. I really like that movie. It was I think it holds up. Again, it was cool rewatching it and seeing all of these cast members that I didn't recognize the first time I watched it, like Amy Adams and the girl from Grey's Anatomy, and Phyllis recognized James Brolin, Martin Sheen in it, and then Elizabeth Banks, made a cameo appearance. So I liked watching it for that aspect. The pacing is amazing. Obviously, 2 powerhouse performances from Hanks and DiCaprio, and then Chris Walken. It was definitely that scene that got him the Oscar. The scene where he's at dinner with Leo and talking about his wife leaving him and stuff. definitely won got nominated for the Oscar from that scene. Yeah, I thought it was amazing. It's like I said, amazing pacing. The direction's great. John Williams' score is really good. It wasn't too distracting, I guess, or like it felt like it fit into the story. It wasn't like its own thing. It felt very much a part of the story. Yeah, I thought it was amazing. Again, I question how accurate a lot of this stuff is. I think there are obviously parts, the main parts of the story that are accurate as far as him getting away with the stuff, but like stuff where he's like escaping the bathroom of an airliner to run and go see his house and stuff. They obviously embellished a lot of stuff, and after this stream, I'm probably gonna look up some stuff just so that I know. But and maybe if I find anything interesting, I'll share it in Discord. But yeah, no, it was a great pick. Again, if you guys like the video, make sure to like down below. That'll help with the algorithm so people will see the streams going forward. We're gonna announce Wednesday the new nominees. Also, guys, we're switching the Discord over to approval voting. So what that means is, like, from now on, instead of picking one movie that you guys want to vote for, you can pick as many as you want. So if you like one movie, if you like 3 movies, you can vote for all 3. It's really up to you. I think it's gonna be better at kind of finding a consensus winner for those Discord votes. So yeah, we're gonna do approval voting. I'll announce that on the Discord when I put the nominees up Wednesday, and then next week I will be having a guest on. It's gonna be Amanda from AMX. What is it? AMX NDA Reviews. I'll announce her on the Discord when we go over our nominees Wednesday. I should be speaking to her in a couple days to see what her picks are. So that should be fun. So make sure to tune in next week for that. It's going to be a fun collaboration with her. But aside from that, I had a great time with it, and I hope to see you guys next week. See you later.